Okay, so Dennis Wenzel asked a question. His question was the following. Thanks for the videos. Question, I am on Sertraline. Sertraline is also called Zoloft for anxiety from tinnitus. Do you think it will hinder my habituation process? Okay, so I think if you look at the long-term results of people who took Sertraline for long-term, I think it's pretty safe. There's always going to be those stories of it caused such and such problem. There are even stories about where taking sertraline can be the very thing that caused someone to start having tinnitus. That's called ototoxic, something like that. Drugs, and a lot of drugs are, including Advil. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to put it in perspective. That it's probably not going to have a problem with tinnitus. There will be the occasional really passionate person who's going to come in and say, well, it was sertraline that caused me to have tinnitus. But I think by and large, sertraline is awesome. Especially if you're in a place where you're just not able to control the anxiety. It does take time. I took it. It took me a good 3 months for it to really, I got up to just over 50, maybe as high as 75 milligrams of it. And I think 62.5 actually, because I stepped it up gradually, a little bit slower than what they told me. And I was pretty darn anxious too. And when I first started taking it, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to take mind drugs, but after some months, man, I felt a lot better. Part of what gets you out of anxiety is not a drug, but the drug can lend itself to helping you do the right things that will get you there. So, for example, there's this whole thing about expanding your bowl or your world, where you become confident again to go out and do things again. A lot of times when we have anxiety, we sort of close our world, and that is often the main problem with anxiety. Obviously, we're worried about things. We're worried about maybe even taking sertraline. We're worried about the tinnitus. We're worried about, being able to handle ourselves out there in the world, things like that. But as we come to just start doing more stuff and getting more involved in life again, the anxiety is going to melt away. So I want to encourage you to hopefully don't think that you need to be on sertraline for life. But it may be the very thing that helps you step, to the next place where you can open your world again and just start feeling okay again. I took it for approximately from maybe April or May of 2021 up until maybe early this year. And by the time I was off of it, I had been stepping down, and I stepped down very slowly. I think I was even using little scissors, and the doctor will tell you, say you're on 50 or 75 or 100, he'll say, okay, cut the dose in half, wait 2 weeks, and then come off of it. And I don't like that advice at all. And if you look at the research, there's more success if you just gradually, just say like, you go down by 10% this week and 10% next week until you're off of it, where it takes you like 2 or 3 months. That'll be a lot better. And you might reach a point where you start saying, is it the drug doing it, or is it me doing it? And what's making me feel better, But first, you're trying to get to a good place. And I think the sertraline can help a lot. There will always be people who disagree with me on that, but I think it can do a lot for you. I even took a sleep medication to help me sleep better. I love magnesium. I take that Calm brand magnesium, and if you can do that about an hour before bed, or maybe even if you're just feeling really anxious, but it's better if you're going to use it for sleep, just use it for sleep unless you really need it for anxiety. But the Calm Magnesium can be awesome for helping to reduce anxiety. Also, I don't know if you've had your blood checked, but if you have any deficiency in vitamin D, that does take a few months to build back up. But you might consider just going ahead and going on a vitamin D supplement, or even having your blood checked to see if you're low on it, because that also can do a lot to, especially if you're low on it. And a lot of people are, can help you with the anxiety. Okay, I think that mostly answers the question about helping you to get over the anxiety through use of Sertraline. Sertraline. I haven't used it in a long enough time. I forgot. Sertraline. So anything else I can say about it? I just believe in stepping up and stepping down gradually, a little slower than what the doctors say. I am not a doctor, but I have a pretty strong, especially about when you're coming off of it. But by all means, focus on how you can address anxiety, through understanding how to do that better, and not only through using the drug. Study it. I studied the heck out of it. I mean, you may start off with some meditation and breathing techniques and your five senses, and smelling and feeling and seeing things in the room. Because I know when I was really bad, I was so lit up like this, and I just couldn't think about anything. So I had to find some ways to just get my brain on something else. I played solitaire, and I probably said, I don't know if he's named, but I drew hundreds of little pictures like this. I either made my own, or I copied other drawings. And I'm not an artist, but I just sat there and drew just to get my mind on something else besides what I'm worrying about. Because if you can start to get your mind trained off of those things that are causing anxiety, which I know you got this sound, and let me tell you, I've got it too, but it doesn't bother me at all now, believe it or not. It seems almost impossible when you're in that time where it's bothering you, but it's very possible. But yeah, just finding some things you can do to get your mind on other things. And then you can start to increase the amount of time you have doing those other things, and then you start being able to bridge that gap and actually just go back into life and do things like you were before, or maybe even better, because you trained yourself with this big challenge. Having faced this challenge, you get to a better place again. So, okay, well, I forgot your name. Is it Dennis? Douglas. Douglas, good luck. And I don't have any big problems with sertraline. I think it might be helpful. So best wishes. Good luck.